Hello Maker, and welcome back to the Sam's Signature YouTube channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Sam, and I just like to make stuff. Whatever it is, I just want to make it. Today, what I'll be doing is I'll be making some resin book covers and bookmarks, and I will be coloring it with some chameleon color shifting pigments that I have. Of course, I'll be using some resin, and what I plan on doing is not filling the molds completely to the brim, but I'm going to fill them almost to the top. And then once they're cured, I'm going to take some permanent adhesive vinyl and I'm going to cut some phrases out of the vinyl with my lock-lick machine. And then I'll add the phrases to the covers. And then once that's done, I will add a clear coat of resin to the top. So that way the vinyl will be permanently sealed without worry of any kind of peeling or anything like that. So if you're interested in seeing how these turn out and how I do it, keep watching. Okay, so first off, I have my molds here. I have some resin. I have some cups to mix the resin. I have a blowtorch so that I can blow the bubbles, torch the bubbles. And I have my color shifting pigment. I have some silicone resin stirring sticks here. And I also have this resin leveler table. I've been holding on to these molds for a while now and I haven't used them because I wanted to wait until I have this leveler table, because my foundation is crooked. So whenever I do resin crafts, I always have a problem with it being unlevel. So with these being so thin, I wanted to make sure that my resin would be level. So I ordered, well, actually I won this resin leveler table from Temu, doing the games on Temu, which it took me like a year almost because I didn't really make many purchases to get my points up. But I still ended up getting it after a year, and I've had it now for about 6 months. So here we are. I've also made sure that the temperature in my room is set at 70, not too hot, not too cold. Because if it's too hot, then the resin will start to cure almost immediately, and I need a little bit of time to mix the pigments. I don't want it to start hardening right away. So if you're doing this, you want to make sure that you have the temperature in your room set around 70, no more than 72. I have made the mistake of using my little heater, and well, that made the room so hot that the resin started to cure really fast, and that will also make the resin heat up so much that you can actually damage your molds. So make sure that you have the temperature in your room set at a good setting. But if it's too cold, you won't be able to get the resin to cure. So about 70, 72, that's a good temperature. So first we're going to start off mixing the resin, and you need equal parts hardener and resin. We have the resin and we have the hardener. I'm not quite sure how much resin I'll need, but I'm going to start off with just the 1 cup here, and then we'll see how it goes from there. Like I said, I don't want to fill it up too much because I want to add the permanent vinyl. And then I want to add another coat of clear resin on top of that. So first off, I want to pick my colors. Oh yeah, and be sure to wear gloves. We'll also need some paper towels and some alcohol so I can clean the resin off of my sticks here and then have somewhere to lay them while I'm not using them. So I'm going to run and get some paper towels, and then I'll decide which color pigment to use. Okay, I have my paper towels ready. I have my alcohol ready. And now I'm going to decide the colors. So you have the mulberry. I think I'm going to try this turquoise blue though. I have azure. It looks a little bit like the turquoise, just not as green, I guess, more of a baby blue look. The violet would be nice though. Looks like I haven't really used much of it. I may do violet. I have grass green. I have coral. Mint. And purplish blue. That is the name of it, purplish blue. So I think I'm going to go with violet, and we'll see how it goes from there. I do know from making other resin crafts and using this pigment that you don't add too much, otherwise it will affect the curing process. Okay, I need the directions. Okay, it says ventilated room temperature 72 to 77 degrees Fahrenheit, 23 to 25 degrees Celsius. It says to pre-warm the bottles. Of course, I need to do that as well. So I'm going to pre-warm the bottles in some water that's about 72 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes. Well, this just says 30 to 40 degrees Celsius, which I think is about 70 degrees. Okay, and then let's see what I need. I'm trying to figure out, I can't remember if I think I'm supposed to pour the resin into the hardener. So I would pour the hardener into the cup first, and then pour the resin into that, and then stir gently until it's mixed for 3 minutes. Okay, it wants me to pour, I know it does, I know it wants me to pour the resin and the hardener in like this. I always prefer to pour 50 milliliters of the hardener into a cup, and then 50 milliliters of the resin. And I've never had a problem that way, so. But see, the reason why I don't like to pour it into 2 containers is because when I do that, I don't get all of the resin because some of it sticks inside of the container. So I like to just use 1 container. And so I will pour the hardener, right? Pour the hardener, let's see, it says lighter bottle of resin A first and the heavier hardener after. So, okay, I go resin and then hardener. And then the key of stirring is slow speed. Of course, I like to stir it slowly, and also making sure to scrape the sides and the bottom. Here we go. Make sure I've got everything the way I want it. Okay, pour the resin. Make sure you set the cup on the surface first, and then I want to make sure my cup is lint free as well, so I'm going to spray some alcohol in there and then wipe the cup out to make sure there's no dust particles or anything. Oh, I forgot, I'm supposed to set the bottles first. I gotta put the bottles in some water, so let me do that. Okay, I've let my bottles sit in some water that was 34 degrees Celsius. I made sure because I put my meat thermometer in the water. Okay, now I'm going to pour the resin first, I'm going to do 50 milliliters. Now we're going to pour the hardener, 50 milliliters, which will go up to the 100. Okay. Make sure the lid's closed tightly. And then I'm going to set a timer for 3 minutes. And I'm going to stir slowly. I like to twirl my depressor, the tongue depressor. Make sure to scrape the sides and the bottom. I also like to make sure I do this every now and then. Make sure to get into the corners down there in the bottom of the cup. Have 24 seconds left. It still looks as though the hardener is still set on top of the resin. And keep going until I feel like it's good. Don't want to incorporate too much air in there. Okay, now I'm going to add some pigments. So from my little spoon here, going to add 1 spoon at a time. Oh, stop doing that. I said 1 spoon at a time, 1 spoonful at a time. Go ahead and add another one. Don't add too much because then it won't harden. You also want to make sure the pigments are well mixed. You don't have any lumps. So pretty. Okay, it looks like it's pretty good. Okay, then we're going to let the resin rest here for a little bit so we can get any bubbles that are going to come to the top and we can pop those. Though I'm not sure that's fine. We can have it just a little see-through. Or I think I'm going to add just a little more pigment. Okay, now I'm going to let it sit here for a second so we can make sure I get all the bubbles. I'm going to spray my depressor, my stir stick, some alcohol. I usually have a torch lighter, but I don't have that. I had one, but then it ran out of fluid, so now I'm just stuck using a little short lighter. And that can be kind of dangerous. As you can see, the bubbles do come up. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and pour now. You want to make sure you have a little stick so you can swipe what's left over. So here we go. Watch, I may need two, or I may need another cup. Yeah, I'm probably going to need more. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, come on. Seems like it's still unlevel, even though I made sure showing it was level. Get some Q-tips. Why do I call toothpicks Q-tips? I don't know. Does anybody else do that? Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and pour some in this one now. Or maybe I should pour it in this one. Then I have to make some more for the bookmarks and for the other. And yeah, it's still settling over there on this far end. I may have to sit something underneath the table. If only the earth was perfectly flat. And the houses that were built on it. Wouldn't that be nice? At least for us resin people, I guess. Too thick. Yeah, I'm kind of frustrated here with this leveler not being leveled. And I've turned the feet as much as I could, and the feet just come off. And it's still not level. So I guess my house is just so unlevel. Let's see, what can I put under there? Okay, so I'm going to mix up another batch so I can fill this and the bookmarks. And I will keep torching for the bubbles here. Okay, and then once I've filled them all, and I've torched long enough for the bubbles to be gone, I will cover them. That way no dust can get in them. But now I'm going to mix up another thing of resin. I'm sure you don't want to watch me do that again, so I will see you when this is cured and I'm ready to put the vinyl on it. Because I'm sure you don't need to see me fill these molds. You saw how I filled them, and then I will mix up some more resin and we'll I'll see you when I'm ready to do these have cured and I'm ready to put some vinyl on. Okay, I'm back and well, I forgot to record yesterday while I was putting the vinyl on. But here we go. I've got all the vinyl on here and now I'm just going to mix up the clear coat resin so I can pour that over it. And then we'll have to wait another 24 hours for it to cure again. And this is a long project. It's really fairly easy. It's just the wait time that takes so long. And then once we do this, once this cures, I have to do the back covers because we only have one of each and we need 2 covers. So I'll have to do a whole batch of the chameleon violet again, just so we can make the back covers. And this one I think I overfilled, so I'm going to have to try not to overfill it with the clear coat. I may end up having to drill the holes because I'm worried that the clear coat's going to cover the holes. So I have let my resin sit in some 34 degrees Celsius water for 15 minutes. And now I'm just going to go ahead and pour my resin into the cups. I think I'm going to start with 40. So I'm going to go with 20 of the resin and then 20 of the hardener. In order to keep your lids from sticking to the top, it's good to use a alcohol soaked paper towel to wipe the tops off. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. Okay, so now we go to 40. Always twist the bottle. And it's the hardener that you really want to make sure you clean the cap off before you put the lid on. And then, of course, close the lid tightly. Okay, let me get my timer set up here for 3 minutes. Oh, so I have my timer set for 3 minutes and go. And we're just going to stir slowly, making sure to get the sides and the bottom while you stir. Also, made sure to wipe any fingerprints off the resin with some alcohol and paper towel. You just want to make sure you don't have any dust or any particles on your mold there. Supposed to let it wait for like 3 more minutes. Get all the bubbles to come up. Okay, we have 6 seconds left on this. Okay, now let's pour this resin. Probably gonna pour the rest of this in here. Okay, so maybe now I should turn it this way. So now I'm gonna add some more resin, or I'm gonna mix some more resin, and then I'll get back to you when I'm done mixing. Okay, so I think this is done pretty well. I think I'm just gonna leave it because it looks like it's all the way to the brim, and it looks like it's completely leveled itself out. So I'm just gonna leave that as is, and we'll go ahead and start pouring on this one. I may end up needing to add another, do another batch of resin. But I mean, this one's pretty full, so I may not need too much. And I know that one is full, so I just need a little. This one's pretty full too, so we may have enough. depending on if this one will cover with what I just put in there. Oh no, I just covered the, I don't have to worry about this covering. Oh, and it will because I've already touched it. So it's probably going to cover the whole. So I should have just used a toothpick for that, I guess. Yeah, that one's full, so we're good on that one. Let me cover this corner right here. And what I'm doing is I'm getting down to eye level to see if there are any empty little holes, and I could see that it was not good right here in the corners. Okay, give it a torch. Those bubbles out. You don't want to stay in one spot for too long because then it can scorch the resin. I'm gonna go ahead and give this on the torch. Is that a bubble? I might have scorched it. Okay, we're looking good. I think that one is done, and now I'm just going to pour over this one. I just know this one's going to go in those holes. You know, I'm going to have to do a tiny batch of resin for the bookmarks because this one is all used up. Which I may wait to do the bookmarks when I'm doing another batch of resin for the backs, because I don't think I'll be able to mix just that little bit of resin. So I think I'm going to wait for the bookmarks. I mean, this one's so full, I just know it's going to go over all the holes. If it doesn't, it will be a miracle. But it's fine, I have a drill, I can drill it. Well, I'll just have to use my grinder, not really my drill. Probably. Shoot, with the bookmarks, I might could just throw a coat of UV resin on top. Alright, I think I got that. I want to say that the holes on this one, the little things didn't come up as high as the other molds. I don't think I filled it that full. But then again, maybe I did because hopefully it won't cover the holes and I won't have to drill, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Alright. This resin's been pretty good about not having bubbles in it after I poured it, so I think we're doing pretty good. Let me take the camera down and I'll show you close up. See if you can see what I'm seeing here. Ooh, not the level. We don't want you to. As you can see, that it comes up over those holes over there. And this one too. It's not too bad. It's kind of half covered that second hole right here, but for the most part it's okay. And this one, I mean, I could have probably poured a little more resin in there, but I think it's good. Alright, I will get back to you once these have cured. Like I said, I'm probably going to throw some UV resin on these bookmarks since they're already all the way to the top pretty much. So I won't have to use too much UV resin. Yeah, there we go. And I'm going to clean my workspace off here because I have a little resin on my table. I don't want it to cure to my table. So I will see you when this is cured tomorrow. For the resin that I have left over in the cups, I'm just going to leave this to cure in the cups because these are silicone. It won't stick to it. So it's best to just let it cure. And then when it's done curing, you can just peel it away and throw it away. Do not pour this down your drain. So just wanted to mention that. Don't pour it down the drain. Just let it cure and then you can peel it away. And then how I clean my cups is once it's cured, I can take what's in the bottom and just peel it up. And then if there's anything left on the sides, which is inevitable, there will be, as you can see, that stuff, the little stringy stuff on the sides. You can take some masking tape or painter's tape. I like to get the thick, see this tape right here. I have some yellow painter's tape too, but it's a little bit smaller, not as wide. But then I'll take that and I will stick it to the cup, inside of the cup. Well, I'll turn my cups inside out and then I'll get use the tape to get any excess resin off. Okay, all right, I will see you tomorrow. Okay, so here are the back pieces. I figured I would go ahead and demold them. It hasn't quite been 24 hours. It's been like 20 hours since I did this. So they're still kind of bendy, but that's fine. I believe this resin said to let it sit for 72 hours before it's fully cured. But it's okay to demold them now. So since I didn't demold them on the front covers on film or on camera, I figured I would go ahead and demold the second ones, the second batch, the back covers. Just letting you see the color shifting there. I did go around the edges and kind of sand the edges because they can be a little sharp, like this one right here. It's pretty sharp, so once it's fully cured, I'll go around and sand the edges just to make it dull. So you have some, I don't know if you can see that. There you go. Have some little pieces some overhang. Well, here's a good piece that you can see maybe. So I'll sand that off. Okay, so we'll have this. These are fully cured. I've added the vinyl. You can see it's holographic vinyl. I have Pray Then Slay. Then I have Faith It Till You Make It, which you already saw. But I designed this on the Lock Like Idea Studio software. And then cut it out. I designed all of them actually, using my system fonts that I downloaded from probably 1001 Fonts. Maybe some from Fontscape or Fontstruct, I mean. And then here are the bookmarks. I did epoxy resin and then I applied UV resin after I put the vinyl on there. But the problem with using the UV resin is it kind of makes it bow a little bit. Because when you put the UV light on the UV resin kind of starts pulling like this, so it kind of bent the epoxy resin. Then here's this one. that's that. Okay. So I'm gonna let these cure for another day or two. And then I have these bookmarks that I didn't fill all the way because this was with the resin I had left over after I poured. It took a whole 100 milliliters of resin just for this one. And then another 100 milliliters for this, and then the two bookmarks. So once I had these filled to the top, I went ahead and filled the bookmarks. Not as full as the last time I learned my lesson with these. I want to go ahead and fill these with epoxy resin instead of UV resin because I don't want them to bend like these did. So yeah. Alright. Next time you see me, I will probably be adding the paper and the binder ring. Okay, so here I have the book covers, and I'm going to file the edges to the back covers. I've already done them for these. Now I'm just going to show you how I do that. I'm just taking a fingernail file, but you can use sandpaper, or this is a sanding block. But the fingernail file seems to work pretty good. And it's best to wear a mask. So I'm going to put on this mask and some safety goggles so that the dust isn't getting in my eyes. I'm just kind of dulling the edges here so that they're not so sharp that they will cut you. And as long as you stay on the edge here, you won't have to buff it out or anything. Okay, that feels good. No sharp edges. And that's one down. Okay, now what I'm going to do is add the paper. I ordered these planner inserts from Amazon. This is an A5, this is an A6, and this is an A7. And then I have these rings that came with my mold, but I also ordered, because I knew I'd be making more of these, but I also ordered these. And now that I'm looking, I think these might be just a little bit bigger than these. Never even opened these. Because this is the first time I've used these molds. And I looked, and I bought these molds in February of the last year. So I've almost had these molds 2 years. Yeah, this is... Okay, so I'm probably going to use these since they're smaller. We'll see once I put the paper in there. I might use some gold ones. But okay, let's get this done. So I'll just start off with this. There are 100 sheets in each. I think I'm just going to stick with 50 pages. Let's see if this is split perfectly. And I got to make sure to not put them upside down. I'm usually pretty good at splitting the things. And of course, off video, I will count to make sure I have 50. I mean, that's 100 pages. I think that's good. Okay, that feels even right there. And yes, watch. I bet it is 50 sheets. Okay, I'm going to keep these. So there's that. Maybe I'll put the gold on here. And these. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Okay. Oh, they're pretty sturdy. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do this in so it's easier with the rest of them. I hope you can see that. Let's turn these. I don't think anyone's gonna have to worry about them coming loose because they're pretty hard to get apart here. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. There we go. And then go like this. Yes. Okay. This one doesn't really have a bookmark because it's going to, let's see. Yeah, I mean, that fits great. This is pretty thick for like a regular book, but it goes good with this book. Okay, now let's see. Oh, see, it's hard to close with all the paper. Maybe if I had put these in there, but yeah, it's best that I just use the 50 sheets. So those rings are obviously for just 50 sheets. So there's that one. See, these are different. These have tabs. The only thing I could find in this size was just the paper. So yeah, but here's the thing. With this, we only have 5 of these. So, and they're bent right here. I don't like that. But oh well, I can't do anything about it. So, and again, I'm just going to split these into 50 sheets. Okay, that feels about right. Then these, let's see if there's 50. There's 5, so that'd be over 10 pages. Oh, girl, gotta put the cover on. There is the second one. Okay, now with this one, this set came with 3 sets of 45 lined papers, so I'll just leave 45. Oh, they taped this all the way around. Okay. A little much, don't you think? Okay, this one came with the index cards and a ruler and 2 little bags. So that's why I'm just going to put 45 sheets in there so that everything will fit. At least these cards are more protected than the other cards. Okay. I'm still not sure that's going to fit. We're almost there, but I don't know. It's kind of big. It doesn't. I don't think it's going to hold. Oh, yeah, it's not going to hold. Okay, so that's too many pieces. So I'm just going to. I'm going to use the same amount that's in there. So 20 pages. No, 10 sheets per tab. Now, did that get the envelope or whatever it's called? Called something, I forgot. It says so on the listing. Pocket. Pocket, that's what it's called, a pocket. Oh, I forgot to put the top on it. Well, maybe I'll get all these on there and then no, it'll be easier. Just add it now. Ah, there we go. There we go. 3 notebooks made by me. And then, see, this one doesn't even really fit. It's too big. Maybe I'll just keep that for myself. Leave this one like it is. Which, I mean, by the time you put anything in here, it's going to be pretty clunky, I guess would be the word for it. But there you have it, folks. There you have it. There's 3 notebooks, 2 bookmarks. This one goes with this. Let's see how it looks. How well it does its job. Yeah, I mean, it still kind of opens up a little bit, though. But still nice. Open it up. Let's check our schedule today. Yeah, and then you can just go like that. Yes, I like it. I like it a lot. This one's just paper, but it's fine. Okay. This one's pretty thick. The only thing different is, I think even this one seems it's thicker than this one. And this one just has 50 sheets of paper. This one has 50 sheets plus the 5 tabs. This one has 50 sheets plus the 5 tabs plus a bookmark and a pocket keeper. Pocket keeper. And this one is way thicker than that. I don't understand why this one is thicker than this one. But anyway, that's that. We have Faith It Till You Make It. Pray Then Slay. And Loved Always. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button. Go ahead and wave your magic wand over that notification bell so you'll be notified of my next upload. Be sure to check out samssignature.com where you will find these notebooks if you're interested in buying them. If you want a custom notebook, go ahead and email me at info@samssignature.com and we can chat about what you want on yours. Until then, have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.